Ipswich Town versus Oxford. 3-0 in 4. Surely it wasn't going to happen this time. It's now 4-0 in 5. We should have seen this coming. We thought it wasn't going to come, but Ipswich have enjoyed another stalemate with Oxford too. It wasn't a dull game, but it's the same result that we've become used to when these two teams meet each other.
Yeah, I think we all said in the previews to this, no way it's going to happen again. Two really good front foot footballing sides, and it wasn't a boring 0-0 today, was it? I thought it was an entertaining game. The tone was set quite early on. Ipswich have hit the post twice in the first half. Macaulay Bonne a header from a corner, and St Selina foot of the post from outside the box. We think there's a really good fingertip save from the goalkeeper in there. That said, I think Oxford probably, for my money, just were the better side in a fairly even first half. They looked the more cohesive, slicker team. They had the better penetration. But then second half, Ipswich, I thought if anyone deserved to win it on that second half, it was Ipswich. They were the team that asked all the questions. Just couldn't quite find that killer touch today, could they? Yeah,
they came out after the break well, to be fair. I think Cook would have wanted more from them towards the end of the first half, and they came out quickly at the start of the second. But I think as that half drew on, I think Oxford became more and more happy with a point here. The game slowed down. I don't know if I've seen that many drop balls in a game of football for quite a long time. The game really slowed down. Oxford, they were wasting time.
Yeah, they cynically ran down the clock, as is their wont, to be fair. I know Ipswich fans will be deeply frustrated by that today, but if you don't take your chances, if you don't kill off the game, then it's the away team's right to try and do that. They were going down with cramp, they were going down with head injuries that didn't necessarily look like head injuries.
Something else, didn't they?
Matt Taylor took his time to go off the pitch with substitution, so we had all of the dark arts from them to run down the clock. But ultimately, Ipswich, for all their second half dominance, didn't have that killer touch today. Their front players weren't quite at it today, as we've seen in previous matches. This is the first league game that Ipswich have failed to score in. We're now getting towards the middle of November. Burns was pretty quiet by his...
Yeah, I'll be honest, I expected him to have more games like that in his time at Ipswich, but he simply hasn't. He's been brilliant. He's been there. You'd probably put him in the top two of the attacking threats consistently during this season so far, but it was a real off day for him. You need him on the ball, matched up, one-on-one with the left back, and they just couldn't get him in that position. And when they did, the touch wasn't necessarily there for him.
No.
He's going to have off days. This was certainly one of them. Selina, all the right positions. If that shot early had gone in and not been tipped onto the post, his game could have been very different, but all the right positions and not quite the execution. And Kyle Edwards I thought too got into some good positions. The left flank for Ipswich was the source of a lot of their attack, but the final ball maybe wasn't there for him.
Goals and assists still haven't quite been there for Kyle Edwards, but he was their player that looked most likely to make something happen today. Bond battled really well up front, won a lot of aerial duels, but didn't score but didn't concede as well, and we should put a lot of stock in that, because this is only the second time Ipswich have kept a clean sheet at Portman Road this season. Paul Cook said that he felt quite comfortable as a manager watching that second half, that Ipswich normally look quite vulnerable when they're on the front foot. In transition, on counter-attacks is when they concede. Today, Oxford didn't have much of a sniff in that second half at all. So there's positives to take from that. And there's positives to take from the debut of a young man at left back today. Bailey Clements, very impressive.
Yeah, it's more than 2 years since he made his Ipswich Town debut at Luton in the Carabao Cup. But two and a bit years later, he's finally got his league appearance, preferred to Matt Penny at left back and ahead of Cameron Burgess today, with Hayden Coulson out. And after a good 45 minutes against Colchester, he didn't look out of place at all, did he? He looked very solid in defence, and was as involved going forward as we've seen any Paul Cook left back, really. He a couple of driving runs, I think it was him that drove inside for Selina to hit the post, wasn't it? And then a couple of crossing moments. He had one moment where he flashed the ball across the box to Macaulay Bonne, where I wanted him to shoot. I really wanted him to shoot, and maybe he should have shot, but that's maybe being a bit picky on a really good performance from a young man who's got the shirt now. So.
Yeah, well done, Bailey. He took. I think that's a bit of a statement from Paul Cook to say no matter who you are, if you play well, you get your chance. And Bailey Clements did really well when he came on against Colchester in midweek in the Papa Johns, and into the team he goes. That was just through choice for Matt Penny, who had a pretty off day down at Plymouth, hadn't he? So a statement from Paul Cook there, and he said that Bailey will now be difficult to leave out going forwards. Anyone else you want to briefly mention?
George Edmondson was my man of the match today. I think he's becoming Mr. Consistent for Ipswich, consistently excellent at the moment, very solid, uses his body well, battled well with Taylor throughout, and he's definitely up there if you're looking at the summer signings who have impressed the most so far, and I enjoy watching him play.
Yeah, overall, I guess time will tell how we reflect on this point. I think the performance for me makes it a reasonably positive one. It's just the fact that Ipswich have left themselves ground to make up, that you're always going to feel disappointed when they don't win. The home form hasn't still quite ignited for Ipswich, but we're off to Oldham next for an FA Cup replay on Tuesday night. Then a big trip to Sunderland, and then back here for Rotherham. Some big games ahead.